And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV. Today we're at Guild Mortgage in Tucson, Arizona with Jose Miranda. Miranda,
yes sir.
There we go. Keller Williams. Which Keller Williams office are you at?
I'm actually right next door, Keller Williams, Southern Arizona.
Oh, you're in the same
building, just right next door, literally.
Man, thanks for taking time out of your day, walking across the hallway to join us today.
Well, I actually just came from across town where I actually just came from a listing presentation. So
nice.
But it was convenient because I come into the office and here I am.
There we go. Awesome. So for those watching that don't know who you are, we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Jose Miranda. I'm with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. I'm a realtor there. Born and raised here in Tucson, very active in the community in reference to coaching soccer and helping youth. And now I'm in real estate. I've been in real estate for a couple years, and that's it.
So do you still coach soccer, or is that something that you did like full-time prior?
Well,
what your transit?
I've coached soccer my entire life. I still
Really?
coach soccer right now. I've got a couple of age groups that I work with the RSL Arizona. So it's a team here that's affiliated with the RSL
Is it like
Academy.
a club style?
MLS club, one of the professional ones, but we're just affiliated in reference to, we just have some connections with them.
Yeah.
Nothing major, but yet some good connections and opportunities for the kids. So I currently coach 2 teams, and all my kids play soccer.
Really? That's awesome. What age groups do you teach? Or
I
coach,
have 04 boys, which they're about 13, 14-year-old boys. And then I have 06, born in 06. So those are more like 12-year-old boys. And those are the 2 groups that I work with primarily right now.
Awesome. So what did you do prior to real estate, and what got you into real estate?
Wow. Soccer has really been my life and my career that I've done more than anything. I was fortunate enough to be blessed to go to college on a scholarship. And
so were you a player too?
I played. I was able to get a
do you still
scholarship.
Play?
those days are behind
on you, man. Like, I didn't play soccer for a long time. I was a long-time soccer player,
Yeah.
and then I got into it, and I was doing indoor, and just how it, like, pivots on your, oh, man.
Hey, listen, as you get a little older,
Yeah.
things change a little bit, so you have to slow down. And
I learned that, yeah.
I focus more on coaching. And I've been coaching for a long time. So it's tons of fun, and it's a good way to give back to the community. It's a good way to meet a lot of people, and it's just been a ton of fun.
Yeah. So real estate, how did you why did you decide real estate? So were you coaching and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do real estate now?
Well, it was, my wife and I ran another business for a while. It was a cleaning service, and we sold that back a few months ago. And it was like time for us to have the next step, because soccer is something that we kind of do on our own time in the late evenings. But it was something that I've wanted to do forever. Since my wife and I got married, we're married, I think 19 years now.
Oh, wow.
I hope I got that right.
Yeah. You're going to be in trouble.
Right.
If not.
So, and I've always been reading on it, and it's always been my passion. And now I found the opportunity, and I'm full force ahead doing real estate, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy being out in front of people, talking to people, and really, for me, it's making like a lot of first home buyers' dreams come true. Mm-hmm. I know what that means. Trust me, I know what that means, and that's what's really important to me.
So talk to us how that experience goes for first time home buyers, and how why do you like that so much?
Well, I mean, just briefly on my story, when I was younger, with my parents, I don't know if it wasn't that we couldn't afford to buy a house at that time, or we just didn't know the process, right? Or maybe it was just too intimidating for my parents at that time. So we never actually owned a home, and we just kind of seemed to move around from time to time. So now I see some people that were like me in the past. So what I tend to do now is work with those new first-time home buyers a lot of times, because what happens is I love to see the reaction when they, first of all, they get excited about, hey, there's a possibility of me owning a home, right? And then when they actually get into the home, they're like, wow, I didn't know this was true. I didn't know this was possible. And once they do that, I mean, to me, that's the reward there. Understanding that they could be home buyers and getting young families into their first time home. It's pretty awesome.
So what are some of the misconceptions where people may think they're not familiar with the process, or they may think, oh, I'm just gonna rent because I definitely can't buy a home. What are the things, like maybe people think they don't make enough money, or they don't have enough money in the bank for a down payment? How do people overcome those obstacles, when getting into their first house?
Well, I think the whole process of not knowing is what's the most intimidating. And then, hearing the stories of, credit, hearing the stories of large down payments and all that stuff like that is intimidating, for a first-time home buyer. Once they've gone through the process, it's a little easier. But it's not understanding. Once we kind of go ahead and give them some information, what tends to happen is they start to feel more comfortable with the process and understand that, hey, this is something that can happen. You don't always need a first time or a large down payment. You don't always need all this money in the bank. Your credit score is probably better than you think, or it's something that you can work on. So what I always suggest is getting in to see a loan officer, getting an understanding of what needs to be done. That's really the first step. And from there, they can guide you and really set the expectations for you moving forward. So as soon as they kind of get through that fear and work with some professionals, some realtors and some loan officers, they start understanding that it is possible. People can own homes. They just have to understand the process. You're paying a mortgage anyway, right?
Right.
Paying a mortgage anyway, you might as well be paying for something that you're going to be owning and hopefully gaining some equity on.
Sure. And we know here in Tucson, there's so many options when it comes to brokerage. Why did you choose Keller Williams?
Well, I chose Keller Williams because Keller Williams needed what I needed at this time, and it was training. Keller Williams is right now #1 in the world for the number of agents and the number of transactions, and I wanted to be a part of that because to me, I saw that they were doing something right. And I wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to learn the process. So to me, the biggest thing was training, and I wanted to plug into that. I wanted to get into that network, and since I've joined there, it's been nothing but phenomenal. I think I've only been with Keller Williams probably about between 4 to 6 weeks, and I feel that I have just gone forward leaps and bounds. But it's a continued process, and again, that's the reason was that the recognition of the name and the training.
So so being at Keller Williams, obviously they have I think they have a big focus on teams. They have a big focus on the one thing. Obviously they have, Gary Keller and there's 2 of them, right?
Yes.
And what are those things that they want you to focus on as a real estate agent? Because I find it different than what other brokerages want you to focus on.
Well, some of the things that I continue to hear at Keller that continue to impress me and continue to keep me as part of the family is the fact that you actually do you create a business, #1. You create a business, but you don't just create a business that's going to consume you 7 days a week, right? You create a business with with an intent to have a good balance for whatever it may be, right? Family. So we put family first, we put God, we put family first, and then your career comes on there as it goes through. So they help you build a plan that is balanced and right for you. And to me, that's important. Having 4 kids of my own was, I knew I needed to have some balance in my life. So when I heard those things, I actually wanted to go in and see those things. And since I've been there, it's been nothing but that. Everything is designed around that. And it's been good for me to be a part of that. And as that Keller Williams family, I know my family has become part of that.
And I know that because I have 4 kids of my own too.
Oh, yeah.
Did you say you have all boys? I have all boys.
No. I've got 3 girls. It's Kayla, and then my son Joseph, Amaya, and Mia. Mia's my youngest, and Kayla, who just turned 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As we speak right now, my wife is getting her ready for her photo shoot today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a busy time for us, right at this moment. And then that's kind of what we're focusing on. But again, this is balance, right?
Sure.
I mean, after this, I have another appointment, but then I get to go spend the evening with her. So it's kind of what we call at Keller Williams the intentional life, in terms of you purposely schedule things in your schedule so that you can make time for the other things.
Right. So what are those activities that you're focused on daily, weekly, monthly to help drive your real estate business? Because I think you mentioned one thing, being involved in the community, and having coached a lot, and you know a lot of people in this community. Did you say you're born and raised here in Tucson?
Born and raised here in Tucson,
so
yes.
you probably have a pretty decent sized sphere of influence, but what are those things that you focus on to drive your real estate business?
Right now, I'm just making sure everyone knows that I'm actually in the real estate business, and that itself has been, very, very positive. But just really keeping my name out there and talking to people, and again, just letting them know that I'm there. The people that I do know throughout town, because I've been coaching in soccer, probably in Tucson at least 20 years, so you get to know a few people as you go through. So that's my thing, and staying plugged in with the community is really important. What we do and what we give back to the community will come back to you. So as long as I believe that if we just do good and try and help others, it will come back. We've helped a lot of people through youth sports in terms of helping them get to college or reach some of their other dreams, whether it be for sports or just academically, and take care of some kids and some families along the process. That's been very rewarding, and just really just connecting with people has helped my business grow. But I think business-wise, if we want to just keep it plain and simple, it's having those daily disciplines in terms of those daily goals and understanding what our goals are in the future, and then just building up with that, staying focused daily in terms of hitting the numbers that we want, right, in our career. It's kind of like building any business, right? You have to have numbers. Keller has helped me do that, really focus in on that, and literally I wake up daily and my first part of the day is exactly the same. It's exactly the same because it keeps me focused on what I need to do and what I need to get accomplished on a daily basis. So.
Awesome. Well, if somebody watching this is interested in hiring you to represent them, to buy or sell a home, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, the simplest way and the best way and the fastest way is to use my phone number, shoot me a text, or give me a call. It's 520-664-7610. That is the best way. And even, what I tell people when I try to put it out there is, if you're just curious about real estate, or you are just interested in what the market is doing, and you just want to have a conversation, to me that's gold. Because what I get to do is I get to have a conversation with you about something that I'm passionate about, and share some information. You may or may not become a client, right? But yet we can have that conversation, because as we educate people, we can continue to grow our business and continue to help them accomplish their goals at the same time.
And that was one thing I wanted to ask you about was the current state of the market here in Tucson. What is your perspective of the market?
Well, we just had a major training class on stats and where things are going right now. What it is it's still a seller's market, right? But there are some changes happening gradually. We don't know how long this curve will last in reference to it continuing to be a seller's market, but the signs are there that it'll start to change, and it's starting to change gradually. So we don't know if that seller market will continue for another 6 months, another year, but there are some changes happening. It's still a great time to sell. One thing that people don't realize is when they list their homes closer to the holidays, and people tend not to want to do that because it's the holidays, right?
Right.
But there's less competition for sellers during the holidays because there's not as much listings. The market is low in listings anyway, but even more so, because guess what happens in January?
Oh, man.
Everyone wants to list and sell their house, so now you're, instead of dealing with, 1,200 or 200 homes and stuff, it doubles and triples in January. So
that is 100%
yeah.
true, because that's our bit. We're like, I wish more people would list their homes in November, December, because in January we're like doubly swamped, But you got a good point there. More competition definitely in January with so many people planning to list their home.
Yeah, you want to have your home stand out, and that's a great time. November is a great time to list your house. So again, if you want to list your house, I'll be happy to help you out with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join me on Real Estate Pros, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
Till next time.